There's a kind of empath the world rarely talks about. One whose energy doesn't just feel others, but mirrors them. The INFJ Heyoka empath. If you've ever felt like you absorb people's emotions, awaken truth in others without trying, or walk through life feeling both burdened and blessed by your sensitivity, this video is for you. Today, we're looking into what makes the INFJ Heyoka the rarest and most powerful empath of all. Watch till the end, because what you'll discover might finally help you understand why you've always felt so different. To understand what it means to be an INFJ Heyoka empath, you must first understand the unique fusion of the INFJ's psychological makeup and the Heyoka's spiritual role. INFJs are rare, deeply intuitive, emotionally intelligent, and guided by a profound sense of purpose. The Heyoka, in Native American tradition, is a sacred contrary, someone who teaches and heals others by reflecting their energy back to them, often through paradox, humor, and emotional mirroring. When these two forces merge in one individual, the result is a person who can profoundly affect everyone they encounter, often without even realizing it. Are you feeling lost as an INFJ? The INFJ Purpose Compass will help you find clarity, purpose, and direction. Check the link in the description of this video to get access now. If you're an INFJ Heyoka, you may have noticed that people are drawn to you for reasons they can't quite explain. They may find themselves opening up to you within minutes, revealing secrets they've never shared with anyone else. There's something about your energy, calm, compassionate, yet deeply penetrating, that feels safe, yet disarming. You see beyond masks, and people can feel that. They sense that your presence doesn't just listen, it sees. But this gift is also a heavy burden, because seeing into others so clearly means you also carry the weight of their unspoken pain. You have a strange relationship with emotions, yours and others. You might walk into a room and instantly feel an invisible heaviness pressing down on you, only to realize later that you were picking up on someone else's sadness or frustration. Sometimes it's overwhelming, like standing in a storm of feelings that aren't yours, yet you feel responsible for calming the chaos. You may even struggle to differentiate your emotions from others, needing solitude to recharge and recenter yourself. Unlike other empath types who simply absorb emotions, the Heyoka INFJ reflects them back. When someone is angry, you may unintentionally mirror that intensity, which can make them confront their own rage. When someone hides behind arrogance or indifference, your quiet authenticity unsettles them because it exposes the emptiness beneath their facade. You don't do this to hurt anyone. It's simply part of your energetic design. You hold up a mirror to the emotional truth, and in doing so, you catalyze growth and healing in others. This mirror effect often leads to a complicated dynamic with people. Some are deeply drawn to you. They feel healed, understood, or awakened after talking to you. Others feel uncomfortable or even triggered because your presence confronts them with the parts of themselves they've avoided. You may find that relationships start intensely but fade unexpectedly, as people sometimes can't handle the depth of what your energy reveals. You've likely been accused of being too intense, too deep, or too much, when in reality, your energy simply refuses to exist at the surface level. As a Heyoka, humor and contradiction are your natural tools. You often heal through irony, laughter, and paradox, saying or doing the opposite of what's expected, only to reveal a deeper truth beneath it. You may comfort someone by teasing them in a way that makes them laugh and cry at the same time. You might say something that seems nonsensical, yet somehow hits straight to their heart. You have an uncanny ability to sense when to use humor as medicine, and when silence carries more power than words. You also have a strange relationship with pain, both your own and others. Pain doesn't just frighten you, it fascinates you. You see meaning in suffering, transformation in heartbreak, and beauty in imperfection. You can hold space for grief in ways that most people cannot, because you face your own darkness and learn to make peace with it. This makes you a natural healer, counselor, and truth teller, though you often resist formal roles because your empathy flows best when it's spontaneous and real, not structured or forced. In your quiet moments, you might feel like you're carrying the world's emotions on your shoulders. You sense global pain, collective unrest, and the emotional temperature of humanity as a whole. This sensitivity can make you retreat into solitude, not out of selfishness, but self-preservation. Your energy field needs cleansing, silence, and nature to restore itself. You are like a spiritual sponge that needs wringing out after soaking up too much. That's why alone time isn't optional for you. It's survival. Despite your power, you often doubt yourself. You feel misunderstood, alien, even burdened by your own depth. You may question why others don't feel things as intensely as you do, or why people run from truths that seem so clear to you. Yet, this sense of alienation is part of your path. The INFJ Heyoka's purpose isn't a blend-in, but to awaken others to deeper levels of awareness, even if that means walking alone for a time. You attract broken people not because you're meant to fix them, but because your energy awakens their desire to heal. Many INFJ Heyokas fall in the trap of overgiving, trying to save everyone at their own expense. You may have experienced emotional burnout, toxic relationships, or moments where your empathy felt like a curse. But over time, you learn that true healing doesn't come from absorbing others' pain. It comes from mirroring their truth so they can face it themselves. Your intuition is another hallmark of this rare, empathic type. You often know things you shouldn't logically know. You sense when someone's lying, when something's about to happen, or when an energy shift is coming. It's not magic. It's pattern recognition at the deepest emotional level. Your intuition combines the INFJ's introverted intuition with the Heyoka's energetic awareness, creating an almost prophetic perception that can startle even you. Dreams, synchronicities, and gut feelings often guide your life. You may experience déjà vu frequently or feel spiritual downloads in moments of silence. Your empathy extends beyond the emotional. It's spiritual, energetic, and cosmic. You might feel connected to the suffering of humanity, nature, and even the unseen realms of spirit. This multidimensional awareness can be overwhelming, but it also gives you the potential to be a powerful light worker if you learn to ground your energy. And that's one of your greatest lessons, grounding. As a Heyoka INFJ, your energy is vast and expansive, but it needs roots to function properly. When you fail to ground yourself, you drift between emotional dimensions, feeling everything yet unable to process anything. But when you find balance, through meditation, nature, creativity, or solitude, your empathy transforms from chaos into clarity. You become a channel for healing rather than a sponge for pain. In relationships, you crave depth and authenticity. Shallow interactions exhaust you. You long for a connection where both souls meet without masks, where silence is as intimate as touch. Yet, such relationships are rare, because few can match your emotional frequency. You might experience long stretches of solitude, but deep down, you know it's because your energy demands purity, not perfection, but honesty. Being an INFJ Heyoka empath means living as a spiritual mirror in a world that fears reflection. Your gift is both a challenge and a calling, to awaken others through your presence, to heal through truth, and to walk with compassion even when misunderstood. You are a soul who came here not just to feel the world, but to transform it, one mirrored heart at a time. Beyond the spiritual depth and emotional mirroring, an INFJ Heyoka carries a transformational energy that subtly alters the environment around them. You might notice that whenever you enter a place, whether it's a room, a workplace, or a friend's home, the atmosphere shifts. People begin to open up, reveal truths, or even confront hidden tensions that have lingered in silence. It's not because you intentionally provoke change, but because your energy amplifies authenticity. Pretenses crumble in your presence, and unspoken feelings find their voice. You are a catalyst, sometimes gentle, sometimes intense, but always awakening something in others that they can no longer ignore. Your life is often filled with paradoxes. You crave deep connection, yet too much closeness can overwhelm you. You long to help others, yet too much helping leaves you drained. You want to be understood, yet your nature is so complex that very few can truly grasp it. These contradictions are not flaws. They're part of your Heyoka design. The Heyoka learns through opposites. You might teach love by walking through rejection, or demonstrate strength by embracing vulnerability. Every experience in your life holds a mirror up to you, just as you do for others, forcing you to face your own reflections again and again. One of your quiet superpowers is emotional alchemy. You can transmute dense, negative energy into something lighter and healing. When you talk to a friend who's angry, you somehow absorb the tension and transform it into peace. When you listen to someone grieving, your stillness becomes a vessel where their pain softens into acceptance. You might do this through your voice, your presence, or even your silence. It's not about fixing people. It's about being so attuned that your energy itself becomes a gentle purifier. People often leave your company feeling lighter, but they rarely understand why. At times, though, this gift turns inward. You may go through seasons of emotional exhaustion, depression, or inner chaos, especially after prolonged exposure to heavy energies. This happens when you haven't fully released what you've absorbed. For an INFJ Heyoka, emotional cleansing is as essential as breathing. Crying, journaling, prayer, nature walks, creative expression, all these are not just self-care. They are energetic resets. Without them, your empathy can collapse under its own weight, leaving you feeling detached, numb, or confused about your purpose. Because your energy mirrors others, you sometimes experience identity confusion. You might find yourself taking on people's behaviors, emotions, or even speech patterns without realizing it. It's as if your aura molds itself around theirs, reflecting who they are back at them. After social interactions, you often need solitude to find yourself, again, to remember your own emotional baseline. This ability to morph energetically is part of your power, but it also demands boundaries. Without self-awareness, you risk losing your own sense of self and the emotional tides of others. You also have a profound relationship with truth, not the surface-level truth, but the deeper, spiritual kind that reveals the essence of things. Lies and insincerity disturb you at a visceral level. You can feel dishonesty even when it's disguised as kindness. When someone speaks false words, your intuition screams long before logic catches up. This truth-sensing ability often isolates you because you see what others pretend not to. Yet it also makes you a seeker, constantly drawn to authenticity, spirituality, and raw honesty. You are rarely comfortable in shallow social settings because the masks and noise suffocate your spirit. Creativity flows through you like a second language. Many INFJ Heyokas are artists, writers, musicians, or storytellers, people who channel emotion into form. Art becomes your medicine, your way of processing the collective energy you absorb. When you write or create, you pour the world's unspoken feelings into something tangible and healing. Your creativity isn't just for expression, it's for transmutation. Each piece you make, whether a poem, song, or visual work, carries healing frequency. It speaks directly to the subconscious of those who encounter it. Relationships for you are both sacred and challenging. You love deeply, but your love isn't light or fleeting. It's spiritual, transformative, sometimes even overwhelming. You see potential in people they can't see in themselves. You fall in love with souls, not appearances, and that means your love often feels destined, cosmic, or fated. Yet this same depth can attract those who want your light, but aren't ready to match your vibration. You may go through cycles of intense connection, followed by painful detachment, each one teaching you the delicate art of loving without losing yourself. Another sign of your INFJ Heyoka essence is your relationship with solitude. Solitude isn't loneliness for you. It's sacred restoration. In your quiet moments, you recharge your emotional batteries, reconnect with your higher self, and cleanse your aura of absorbed energies. Alone time is where your intuition sharpens and your spiritual insights surface. It's often during these moments that you receive inner guidance, vivid dreams, or sudden clarity about people and situations. Solitude doesn't isolate you from the world. It reconnects you to the divine pulse beneath it. Another profound aspect of being an INFJ Heyoka is your spiritual rebellion. You don't follow conventional paths to enlightenment. You question everything. You may have tried to fit into traditional religious or societal systems at some point, but something within you always resisted confinement. You crave spiritual truth, not doctrine. This often leads you through phases of disillusionment with organized belief structures, until you discover your own direct connection with the divine, one that doesn't need validation, ritual, or approval. You understand intuitively that truth is too vast to be contained in rules. Your spirituality becomes experiential. It flows from the heart, not the handbook. This spiritual independence often sets you apart from others. You are the kind of person who sees through illusions that others mistake for wisdom. You sense when teachings, leaders, or ideologies are ego-driven rather than soul-centered. While others may accept truths handed to them, you test everything through intuition and inner resonance. This sometimes makes you appear skeptical, but it's not cynicism. It's discernment born from spiritual maturity. As a Heyoka, you were never meant to follow the path. You were meant to question it, reshape it, and reveal its deeper layers. You also possess a unique sense of time and flow. INFJ Heyokas often feel disconnected from linear time. You live intuitively, guided more by energy than by schedules. You might arrive late to things, but at exactly the right moment energetically. You move according to divine timing, not human urgency. This can make you seem unpredictable or absent-minded, but in truth, you are responding to an inner rhythm, a pulse that synchronizes with destiny itself. The more you learn to trust this flow, the more your life unfolds with uncanny synchronicities that lead you exactly where you need to be. As a Heyoka INFJ, your dreams are rarely random. They're vivid, symbolic, and often prophetic. You may dream of people you haven't met yet, or places you'll later visit. Sometimes your dreams act as emotional mirrors, showing you truths your waking mind isn't ready to face. This is because your subconscious is a direct channel to the collective field. When you dream, you often process not just your own experiences, but also the collective energy of others. Paying attention to your dreams, keeping a journal, reflecting on symbols, can help you decode messages meant for your growth and guidance. There's also the strange phenomenon of energetic déjà vu. You meet someone new but feel like you've known them forever. You visit a place for the first time, yet your soul recognizes it. For Heyoka INFJs, this happens often because your energy operates beyond the limits of time and space. You have a multidimensional awareness. Your soul remembers what your mind cannot. These moments remind you that your journey isn't linear. It's cyclical, connected to lifetimes and lessons far beyond this one. You may also find that your path is filled with what feels like divine tests, moments where everything you believe is stripped away. These aren't punishments, they're initiations. The universe often breaks Heyoka INFJs open, so they can expand into their full potential. Loss, heartbreak, isolation. These experiences refine your energy, purify your empathy, and expand your understanding of human suffering. Every painful experience you endure becomes a seed of compassion that later blooms in your ability to comfort others. Your deepest wounds become your greatest medicine. Perhaps one of the most defining aspects of your journey is self-healing through awareness. As you awaken to your Heyoka nature, you realize that every person who triggers you is a reflection of something within you still seeking balance. You stop taking things personally and start viewing interactions as mirrors of growth. This awareness turns your pain into purpose. You begin to heal not by avoidance, but by understanding, transforming emotional wounds into doorways of insight. You become the healer who heals by evolving.